again, just very proud of our guys for the effort that they gave. I thought K-State came in, with a good game plan. They have terrific players, and to be quite frank, they're missing one of their best players, in Hawkins. And I don't care who we are as coaches. We're better when we have our, best players out there on the floor. So that's always challenging. I know we've gone through that a little this year. They're going through it now, and in this league is very unforgiving. So when you're in those situations, it can be very challenging. And just really proud of our guys for coming out, and when the young man Hawkins didn't play, for understanding that we still had to have the right mindset, not let up, still play our game, knowing that he wasn't going to be out there. And I was really proud our guys were able to keep that kind of focus and play with that type of maturity.
Coach, career-high blocks tonight for Mustafa in his first double-double ever. What is it like to have a guy like that down low, holding down the paint?
Well, it's important. I mean, you have to have somebody that can protect the rim, especially in this league, because you have so many talented players that can go off the bounce and get to the basket. You have so many post players that can score down low that you need guys down there that can protect the rim and rebound and block shots and alter shots. I thought he blocked 8, but he probably altered about another 2 or 3. And it's good to have him back. It's good to have him back out there active.
Coach, just to elaborate more on that, he tied an all-time record at UCF with 8 blocks. I mean, talk about him being so young and still new to Big 12, and he's putting up stat lines like that.
Well, he's growing, like I said, right in front of our eyes. I think he's really grown a lot, as we started league play. I watched how he played in the preseason to where he is now. Just his activities picked up so much more. Like, he had a double-double today. He had 10 rebounds, 11 points, 8 blocks, almost had a triple-double. And you're just seeing him become more active as he gains confidence and seeing what he can do. I think the game is starting to slow down for him. Like most really good players, you get into a situation where the game was moving very fast for him when we first started the season. But you can see the game is slowing down for him now, and he's playing with a lot more composure. He understands what he can do, and he's getting better.
You said in practice you challenged him to a double-double, and he said he wanted to come out and prove that.
Yes, and I'll mention that tomorrow in film. I literally just challenged him about that, and I said, hey, it's amazing how you haven't had a double-double, for as talented as you are, and when are you going to end up doing stuff like that because you're capable? And so it's funny, he did it right away. But that's what you saw part of his learning it's his learning curve. But he's a terrific young human being, as good as a player as he is, and you see how talented he is and how good he can be. But he's even a better person. He's a great young man.
So that story, was that in the film session yesterday when you mentioned that to him?
No, it was actually last night. We were at a recruit dinner.
Okay.
And we were going back to meet with our team to go over, some more of our game plan that evening. So I had a chance, he and I were off by ourselves. So I had a chance to kind of talk with him, and that's what I was challenging him on.
So when he got it, I mean, did you say something to him? Did he come over to you, or kind of what was the dialogue?
No,
like
no. I'll end up, saying something to him tomorrow about it. I didn't today. We want to just celebrate it as a team and then go to the next play because, as this league goes, you're going right from one to another. So, but I will mention it tomorrow in front of the team. That was a great accomplishment for him.
Coach Chang just told us that their plan was to contain Keyshawn and Darius. Yeah, they were able to combine for 49 points tonight. How do you think they were able to get over that hump?
Well, I mean, these young men have been, in these situations a lot. They're 2 experienced players. They've been scorers, throughout their careers in college, and that's always challenging for everyone. And I thought they both did a good job of being patient. I thought Keyshawn was patient in the first half and let the game come to him. I thought he really kind of, got going more in the second half. And I thought Darius, I thought he set the tone in the first half. I thought he really got going early in the first half, and then he made some, of course, big plays in the second as well. But those guys are experienced. They kind of, have seen a lot from different teams, different defensive schemes. So they kind of have an understanding of what they need to do to help their team.
Coach, a little bit of a scare there towards the end with the 4-point play, but how proud of you, of your guys, were you to stay composed in that moment and create another opportunity from the free throw line to seal the deal?
It's to be expected when we're going through some of the things we're going through. We're playing a couple of young guys out there on the floor with Mustafa being a freshman, Mikey a freshman, Dior young, Tyler sophomore. So you're playing some guys out there who don't necessarily have the experience of some of the guys that you normally play with. And everyone's pretty old. These guys are very old, so they have a good feel for the game. They understand what they can do. And the young man made a great play. He came off, set it up really nice, And I literally just, spoke to Mikey right before he hit the 3-point shot because I expected them to maybe go to him. And, but just, you can know it, but that doesn't mean you can stop it, And so the young man actually fouled him after he shot the ball. And give that kid credit. I mean, he stepped up and made a great play. We got a 6-point lead with 12 seconds to go. And you're thinking, okay. And then all of a sudden it's 2 because he gets fouled and it's a 4-point play. So it definitely changes the complexity of the game. And but our guys closed well anyway.
On that same note, I know there were some problems with the inbounds pass right before that. There were some problems with this in the same situation against Houston earlier in the season.
Yes.
So what kind of work goes into designing and drawing up plays to get guys open and to make it a little bit less stressful?
Well, one thing we did better was, timeout-wise, I thought Debo did a great job of utilizing his timeout one of the times because they did a good job. And for us, what happens is, we have, certain lanes we should run when we're trying to get open. And that's where the execution piece comes in. That's what we prepare. We go through this quite a bit. And we end up running a route twice that was a route that we weren't supposed to run. And so we end up bringing too many guys too close together, and now it's easy to guard. One guy could almost literally guard 2 because they're so close together. And we want to space the floor better with these guys getting open in the half court. And that's what we didn't do. So both times it's something we had to show on film and go over again because it shouldn't have happened. We should have been, able to get to more area of the floor, more space where each individual trying to get open has more room to work in a defined area on the court.
Coach, 10-0 run to end the first half, it felt like they were 1 of 8 from the floor in that run. Felt like the defense stepped up at that point.
No, I thought it did. I thought our guys played, with a lot of energy. I thought our defense was good. Guys were very active. Guys made, really good plays for us defensively. And that's what we have to have. In this league, you have to be able to defend. And I thought our guys stepped up and definitely had some stretches where we defended really, really well. And then we rebounded it well. Once we got to stop, we rebounded. They ended up having 16-0 boards, but they have a huge front line and they have some active wings. But I give our guys credit for the most part. We did our job defensively and we secured the ball, a fair amount of times.
Johnny, back-to-back wins now. What can you guys take from these 2 games to maybe propel you towards the end of this regular season and maybe even going into the Big 12 tournament?
Well, we just have to keep going, taking it one game at a time. I still say our best basketball is ahead of us as these young players are starting to find their way, just like Mustafa has found his way. We have young guys more in the rotation now that have a chance to continue to grow. The more games they play, the more they see the different teams that we're competing against, I think they'll continue to improve, and that's going to help us. So our best basketball to me is still ahead of us as we move forward. We just got to keep practicing that way, preparing that way. And just basically don't waste days. Every day we get in the gym, we have to get better, whether it's on the court or whether it's in the game or whether it's in practice.
Coach, you employed your 9th different starting lineup of the season
Exactly.
tonight and inserted Tyler Hendricks for the first time. What can be said about his work ethic to go from not really receiving any rotational minutes to earning this kind of opportunity?
But says a lot about him. I'm always big on, it's not the amount of minutes you play, it's what do you do with your minutes. And so he's earned more opportunity because of what he's done with his minutes. I don't care if you play 30 seconds or a minute. I want to see what you're doing. And to me, you have to earn your opportunities to be out there on the floor. And so when you see me put a guy in the lineup, it's not done lightly. He earned that opportunity because of the way he's practiced and the way he's performed in some games for us, leading up to that. And that's why you see him in that position. But very, very proud of him because it's easy when you're in that position, you're not playing some games, not playing multiple games, to really stay engaged in practice, to still try to get better and wait for your opportunity. But I've always told him, everyone's going to have an opportunity on our team at some point in time. The key is, are you going to be ready for it? And obviously, he's been ready for his opportunity, and I'm very happy for him because he's a great human being. He has a lot of talent, and like I said, his best basketball is still ahead of him.
Coach, in the midst of the losing streak, the tension ratchets up, and that win over Utah, Darius said, it took some pressure off, right? It made the team feel looser. What are you seeing there in terms of playing a little looser?
Well, I think it's important, there's nothing like winning. Winning, like I try to explain to our guys, what would our mood have been if some of those close losses would have been wins? It would have been totally different. But obviously we didn't win those games, so our mood was challenging for us, all of us, staff, players, because everyone cares. Like I said, we all want to represent our community, represent our university to the best of our ability, and we felt at that time we weren't doing that. And so I like that, the fact that we felt that way because you cared. And now how do we turn that caring into, winning? Like I said, it starts with giving winning efforts. I started seeing winning efforts. Maybe we came up short, but I like the effort. And then we've been able to get some wins with winning efforts. And so now that kind of validates how hard we're practicing, how hard we're working on the court when we're playing. It kind of gives these guys, it validates them, and now there's more belief that we can do it because they're seeing the success, not just me saying we had a winning effort and we lost. It's no, we had a winning effort and we won. And so that's a good thing for us.
What are you seeing different defensively the last couple games?
I think the main thing is our focus. I think some of the lineups that we've put out there has helped us also, like a Tyler with his length and what he can do, his activity. I think, Mikey with his, he's young and he's learning, and guys, he's a freshman, so he's starting to figure things out. But he just has an extra gear. He's able to move into places quickly. He's able to get the balls fast. He's able to make plays. And so I think having those guys, more in the rotation has helped us because they're able to make a few more plays that I think we were making early on. And so I think just adding those guys with more rotational minutes and or starting, which both of them have started now, I think has helped us, also defensively.
Time for a few more. Coach Tang had some very kind words about you. He told a story how he was a high school coach in Texas, I guess back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and he'd drive to AAU tournaments in Virginia, and he'd always come back down to Duke and just wanted to kind of check everything out. He said, you'd be working guys out and you were the nicest guy. You didn't know who he was obviously back then, but you'd show him the facilities and all that stuff. So he kind of told us that story. Do you remember your thing for Thursday? I'm just kind of curious in what you think he's doing now. No,
I remember. I'm very proud of what Tang has been doing. He's done a great job with his program. He's been a long-time coach, man, basically a lifer. Coached high school, coached, college, and so he's done a really good job. And he's a really good human being. And so for me in this business, that's what you like to be around, and you like to, share these, competitive moments with, really good people. And he's one of those guys. I'm very proud of what he's been able to accomplish there, and he's going to accomplish other great things. He continues to go forward because he's a terrific coach.
Coach, let's talk about the mindset now, back-to-back wins. What's the confidence in the room like? And you said players playing looser. Where do you see the team going with that?
Well, like I said, we still have room to improve, and we have to continue to go. With the mindset, preparation, and execution. Two things we got to do. We got to prepare hard. We have to execute well on game day. And we've been able to do that, and we need to continue to try to do that because every team that we play is going to be the same as it is the last couple games. The game's going to be hotly contested, very competitive, and we need to be prepared for that, and we need to make sure we play hard for 40 minutes and give ourselves a chance.
Coach, you had one of your better games against TCU, but now you got to go to Fort Worth in their place, especially after the recent road struggles. Kind of speak a little bit more to that mentality to take care of business on the road.
Well, on the road is challenging, and it should be. Any great league, that's a tough challenge, and so we need to make sure we prepare properly. As I said before, we need to make sure we forget about the last game we played them because that was a long time ago. Earlier in the season, we got to take some notes on things we did, but you can throw it out the window. They're at home now. They've had a really good, I think, a good run of wins. They've played really well at times. So I do know that. I haven't watched them, yet, but I look forward to studying them tonight and tomorrow. But, we need to make sure we take care of us too, though. The main thing is always going to come down, it's about us. How we do what we do in preparation and how do we take that preparation and carry it into how we execute in the game. If we do those things at a high level, we give ourselves a chance to win and compete.
That's all right. All right. Obviously, you guys had a great defensive performance, out-rebounding, out-stealing, and out-blocking Kansas State tonight. What do you think some of the defensive looks that you guys had are really shown through tonight? Well, I thought just our activity. Like I said, with some of the guys that we've inserted, I thought they've given us a huge lift. I think our bench has given us a huge lift, maybe not tonight in points, but just by making plays. I think about the plays we made, offensive rebounds, extra shot attempts. These guys are, coming in and they're making big contributions. I thought Debo's made a big contribution off the bench. I thought Dior had a really big offensive rebound in the second half for us and put back. Mikey, of course, had several. Tyler had them. So these guys are all helping. They're contributing in their way. They may not be Darius. They may not be Keyshawn as far as, those type of scorers and what they do, but they can be stars at what they do. And that's what you have to understand this game. There's a lot of different roles that can be filled and played. And I think they're really getting comfortable in the roles that they're playing, and they're really doing a great job at what we need them to do.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you,
All right,
Coach.
guys.
Good luck.